I just got back from shooting B-roll and photography at church this past weekend, and going into that shoot, I knew that I needed to keep my Sony FX2 rig as minimal and run and gun as possible. So, I came up with a setup that gives me surprisingly good battery life, professional monitoring using just my iPhone, and flexible audio that allows me to switch between crowd ambience and quick interviews on the fly. And in today's video, I'm breaking down two different minimal builds that I use all weekend and why going smaller with the FX2 can actually make your workflow faster and more versatile. So let's go ahead and get into this. So one of the main reasons I went with the FX2 is because it's small, compact, flexible, and can shoot awesome photos along with beautiful, sharp, downsampled 7K video. And I can rig this camera up into a full production kit or leave it stripped away down into a lightweight handheld setup without losing image quality. And at the heart of this rig is the Smallrig Hawklock cage. And this is a newer cage that integrates really well with the XLR handle, and I especially like how easy it is to just access this battery door once you have it all lined up in there. Where most cages you kind of gotta move around that and fandangle it. So we're just gonna go ahead and attach it. Now some of the cages have the attachment here and there's a screw hole here, but unlike this is where the difference is. This is why you cannot use FX3 cages on the FX2 for that reason. So it's really great that Smallrig made this dedicated cage for the FX2, and I really like it. We're just gonna screw this all into the body here because this is the heartbeat of the system right here. There's a mounting point there and a mounting point here at the bottom. And with those two, this cage is securely locked in there. Now the second thing that I always like to do is I like to add my Falcam quick release plate, of course, on every single build. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I use the F38 system, and it is just a wonderful system that has the ease and flexibility. And I also use the Yuka quick mount, so I can either snap it in or slide it in with the F38, because the Yuka uses both the F38 plates and the Yuka plates. So I got plenty of videos of that stuff on my channel. But yes, so this is that. And the cage right now, it only comes in black, but I love the way this cage is polished, feels. The black matches the grip of this camera really well. And for my lightest setup, I run the DJI Mic 2 system with the Sony camera. It's great because they make this little MI hot shoe adapter that you can snap right in place instead of the XLR handle, where it's just like that. It's no cables are needed. What I love about this Smallrig cage, and not a lot of cages do, is it includes this little small piece right here that leaves room for this hot shoe attachment. So most of the cages will actually block the hot shoe, where this one just snaps right there in front of the camera and leaves space for you to attach other accessories into that hot shoe. This actually works great with the DJI Mic 2, and later, as you'll find, it also works great with the Sony microphones. Just take this, and then of course take my Sony mic, and I just, slide it on there, and I got a great easy setup for audio. And likewise, I'm also sometimes swapping the DJI Mic 2 for the ECM B1M. It just depends on the needs and of how close my subjects are to the camera. And that audio mode on Sony microphones is incredible. And just like using the DJI Mic adapter, it's totally cable free, which gives me a great clean setup. My go-to run and gun lens has been nothing else other than this G Master 16-35. And I absolutely love this lens. Also, if you like these little labels here on the bottom of the lens, I'll put the links down in the description down there. You can customize it for pretty much any camera brand or anything like that. So this lens is 16mm 35. It's wide, it's sharp, it's perfect for moving quickly, and if I need to reach I can grab my Tamron, but honestly, the 16-35 has been my go-to choice for video, and I'll oftentimes pair that with my Sony 70-200mm Mark II if I need even longer coverage. If you saw my previous video, you'd know that combo is definitely hard to beat. The lighting in churches and different environments, jumping between inside and outside, sometimes completely dark, and then sometimes the stage lights are just completely blasting. I run a Freewell system here, which is, I currently use the Freewell V2. I do know that Freewell did come out recently with a new Maglock system, and I haven't yet tried it out, but this is what I've been using, and I've been absolutely loving it. It has the 3 to 7 stops, which gives me a full range. It has V&D CPL, and I also can attach this magnetic snow mist filter to the front just to add a little bit of more oomph and cinematic glare to it. And since the FX2 does both photo and video really well, this provides me a lot of flexibility and makes my life way easier. I actually utilize this Smallrig top handle as a side handle. So, and the thing I love about this is, you know, it's NATO, so I can just snap it on here on the side of the cage if I want to, and then I can just hold this button down to rotate it. And I like this because when I let go, it locks in place, so I don't have to worry about it like moving around in the middle of shoots. I can just lock it to where I want it to go, and then I can use it as a side handle. And then obviously when I'm using the DJI Mic system, I can actually utilize this system with a top handle, which makes it great if I don't want to use the Sony top handle and I just want to be super running gun and lightweight. I can just slide this NATO rail on here, lock it down, and then I got a nice top handle right here while still being able to use the DJI mic. Because it is a top handle, it's got cold shoes. I can switch it into vertical beast mode very easily and just slide this back up here. And then, you know, you got a good vertical setup with a handle. I really like this. But finally, I also mount my iPhone into this. Now there's a cold shoe adapter right here. There's cold shoe adapters all along this handle. So I can take this Magsafe and just slide it right on here. It's a really cheap adapter, 13 bucks. And then I can just snap my phone up here and I got full flexibility. So I can, you know, angle it like so. I can move it if I want to move it further away and kind of angle it away like that. I can do so and go into vertical and see all that stuff there and everything. So you can always get a USB-C cable right here. I got this coiled Smallrig one, and I can just plug it into my phone and go into my camera to either charge the battery or just send remote shooting from the phone straight to the camera, which I do sometimes with that so I don't have to transfer files later. So we're going to be going ahead and getting into my second build setup, which utilizes the XLR handle. So at the heart of this setup, I still leave the cage, of course, my lens and all that jazz, but I just will go ahead and add this XLR adapter. And a lot of people complain that the FX2's XLR handle feels weak and plasticky, but the Hawklock cage solves that problem by adding a few extra supports to the front and the back plates with a NATO rail attachment. We got this little back handle here first. You screw this on, and I really like this because some of them have just like a little extension in the back. But what I like about this Hawklock Advanced is how it has this like rounded piece here, and they did a really great job of adding some extra support. So then you take this little cable here and you just slide this piece right here underneath the handle. And of course, once you got that all set up, you gotta attach your NATO rails set up to this handle. So we just place those there. It just adds a lot of extra support and then some more flexibility. And if you did that alone, that's a ton of support there, and it makes this way better. If you want to beef it up even more a little bit, which is also going to help later for a setup, Smallrig makes another accessory that will snap on the top and provide you some mounting points and a cold shoe on the top. So just going to go ahead and screw that onto there. I just really love this audio handle now with all these additional accessories. To me, this is like a must when I go out and buy the audio handle, or if I had the kit already, I'm going to be jumping on this immediately. It provides access to the door still, so you have all the functionality of the controls, but it also gives you a cold shoe, which we are actually going to utilize too, coming up here. So now we got to attach this to the camera. So we're going to slide that on here like so and screw these down, and you've got a really solid audio handle system. For the microphone, I personally use the Rode NTG5. And in order for it to fit securely into this little microphone holder here, you've got to get these little washer pieces. These are rubber gasket things, and they sell a pack of them on Amazon, and I got a video all about that too as well. But once you make them and then put them on there, it holds that in place great. And sometimes, once I have this all set up, I'll also take the DJI mic and just kind of, tuck it in under here, on this cold shoe down here. It makes it easy for when I'm shooting vertical content. You can actually see the microphone screen there, so you can get your levels. You could also, if you wanted to, put it up here on the top of this, but for today's purposes, I'm leaving it down here, tucked away, so I can actually see that easily. And I set them on separate channels so I could capture both interview dialogue and ambient audio at the same time. I can also take this Magsafe adapter here and attach it to, I like attaching it to this top here typically. It gets it kind of out of the way and leaves it great for my setup, so I can do this, and I can move this around. I can have move it really in front here. And like I said, the magnet on here, I'm super not worried about it falling off the side or anything like that. So this I feel like it works the best on the top. Obviously I can move it here, I could put it on a magic arm and move it on anywhere, but I typically like it on the top of this camera here. So with this build, I can really trust the shotgun mic for the natural sound, and I can hand off the DJI mic for quick interviews without slowing down. I can also add this side handle back on here again, once again, for great flexibility. I love the rotating hand. You can move it sideways and have just that dual hand support while you still have your monitor for your vertical shooting. This rig is the ultimate rig, as what I would say, for just great portability. And those are the two rigs that I mainly use on my FX2 during my church shoots or client work. Building one rig that's like ultra light, has wireless audio, a phone monitor. And hey, if you guys want any of the gear mentioned in this video, I'll drop the links down in the description below, and using those links help support this channel, so thank you guys so much. If you have any other questions for these builds or anything, just drop them down in the comments below, and I definitely will be getting back to you. If you like this video, like, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube-y things, and you guys know that I will see you in the future.